Hey everyone, I'm Summer. Welcome back to my channel where solopreneurs, coaches, creators learn how to bridge the gap between what they plan to do and what they actually do. And this is part of my playlist called Teach Me Something, where I bring experts on to teach me and you real actionable strategies that help us work smarter. Today's guest is someone who lives and breathes daily action. That's what I loved about her, and I invited her to teach us something. And she's built a whole movement around this. Michelle Demers is the creator of Power 15 Method. Move mountain in 15 minutes a day. I'm a mountain because I need this lesson right now. Now, Michelle helps people build daily success habits that actually stick without needing constant motivation all the time. So, through her programs, clients take daily action with what she calls loving accountability. I'm going to be asking her about that very soon. She even teaches other coaches how to integrate this daily action framework into their own programs. Isn't that what I need for my own programs? That's why Michelle's here. So, jumping straight into this, Michelle, I want to totally reframe how we think about discipline. More
Mhm.
compassion, less guilt. Let's talk about the daily rhythm that we keep talking about. Whenever people say daily rhythm, I keep rolling my eyes because people think success means you do those never-ending wicked cycles like Monday reset or weekly weekend catch up. But your whole method is based on consistent bite-sized actions, right? So, what
Exactly.
daily actions? Why daily actions instead of just a few times a week?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me, and I'm really excited to have this discussion with you and your listeners. Um, Daily action is so important because what we want to do is create habits.
Hmm.
A lot of what happens for people in terms of getting things done is they have to stop and think about it because,
Mhm.
is this the day that I'm supposed to do this? Or, I'm
Hmm.
supposed to do it tomorrow. I don't feel like doing it right now. And
Hmm.
it's that thinking that gets us into the procrastination.
Hmm.
We want to be more automated, especially around the things that we want to do, right? So I'm
Hmm.
talking, obviously, we can't do everything every single day. I'm talking
Never.
about what's most important. So, what's most important in your business, you should be
Hmm.
touching on a daily basis. What's
Hmm.
most important in your health, you should be touching on a daily basis. What's most
Hmm.
important at home and in relationships, you should be touching on a daily basis. And by touching by those small bites,
Hmm.
we can keep the momentum going with what we're
Hmm.
doing.
Hmm.
I think a lot of people get into the whole idea of I got to be doing a lot to have
Yes.
an achievement. And we discount that actually doing something is better than nothing. Because when we think that, oh, I'm going to need an hour to do this, or I'm going to have to uh,
Block out a long period of time.
carve out a
Yeah.
whole afternoon to do
Hmm. Hmm.
something, well, what usually happens, right? Something else comes up. We don't get to it.
Hmm.
And so when you keep putting the bar so high that, something has to be this way in order to actually even start or do it,
Hmm.
you've already set yourself up to fail.
Hmm. I've had this big mindset shift lately. I used to think like I need to start everything. This has been my whole life. I need to start something at the start of an hour, at the top of the hour. Oh, it's
Hmm.
already 3:05, then I'll wait until 3:30 to start this. So that's been a huge mind shift for me. And your approach is powerful too. Keeping myself accountable is sometimes what I struggle with. So let me pause a little bit, and on that phrase I hear you say sometimes, loving accountability. I love
Yeah.
that combination of words because accountability is sometimes treated like a punishment. When
Yes.
I say accountability to my clients, they go like, "Ugh, accountability." So what do you mean by loving accountability? How do you get people to take ownership of their progress without
Yeah.
feeling that pressure or feeling being judged?
Yeah. Well, to give a visual and a compare and contrast,
Hmm.
um, now it's been a lot of years, but hopefully people watching will remember the show The Biggest Loser.
Mm,
And Jillian Michaels is one of the coaches in that show.
I love her. Yeah.
There was another coach there, and I'm blanking on his name right now.
Mm,
But she was known as the hard one. She was the one who was
mhm,
going to scream at you, you know, telling you to get up, even if you're getting sick.
mm,
She had a very hard way of helping people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think his name was Bob. The other trainer,
Mm-hmm.
um, he had a softer way about him.
Mm-hmm.
That's who I relate to more as a coach and a trainer is the softer way. I don't believe that by berating people, yelling at them, punishing
Mm-hmm.
them, taking things away, uh, just making the stakes so high that
Mm-hmm.
maybe some people feel motivated by that, but I think people even who do find that motivating could also have a lot of success in a loving accountability model
Mm-hmm.
and probably feel better because at the end of the day, who likes to be treated like that, right?
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
So I'm talking about Jillian and Bob, the trainers, and those are
Mm-hmm.
people on the outside, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we all have a Jillian and Bob inside of us.
I'm a combination of both of them, I should say.
Yeah, so those are the voices inside our heads where we're punishing ourselves, where we're being our own harshest critic.
Mm-hmm.
And so loving accountability is really about almost stepping outside of yourself. Think of yourself as a scientist
Mm-hmm.
and almost like you are watching yourself, go through the motions, go throughout your day, almost like you're studying them like a scientific subject.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're observing yourself, when you have conscious awareness of your actions and your behaviors, and you're observing yourself from a place of curiosity,
Mm-hmm.
where, oh, that's interesting. This happened. And then as a result, I did or didn't do what I was supposed to do today.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of being angry, why don't we be curious?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we look at what are the root causes of our behavior so that we can make changes? Why
Mm-hmm.
don't we give ourselves a break? Because we're never going to be perfect every single day. Even people
Yes.
who get into routines and who get very good at doing what they're doing, they're not going to
Mm-hmm.
have a perfect 10 day every day. They're human, right?
Mm-hmm.
So loving accountability is coming at yourself from a place of love, from a place
Mm-hmm.
of curiosity, and always kind of looking at yourself almost like you're discovering this new, never before seen discovery, right? Because there is no
Mm-hmm. That's
other
yourself.
person,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
there's no one else like you in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And really being curious about what makes you tick, what makes you operate, why you're doing things the way you're doing. And that's where you can actually then make changes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I mean. In terms of my coaching experience, loving accountability, that's how I am with my clients.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about like, hey, crack the whip, you did or didn't do this thing. It's more of like, oh, that was a challenge for you. Let's take a deeper look at that. Let's see why.
What's the blockage? Yeah.
What changes can we make? What can
Mm-hmm.
we actually celebrate? Sometimes we're just celebrating that you showed up, even if you don't feel like you got much done. Just the showing
Mm-hmm.
up piece is something that we
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
celebrate. Yeah.
I love that concept you brought in. I suddenly remembered my dad for a moment. He used to say, whenever I didn't do something that I said I would, um, instead of punishing me, he would say, step out of yourself and watch yourself
Right.
from another person's perspective. Now, look at you watching, imagine you're watching somebody else when you're watching yourself.
Hmm.
And
Right.
then put yourself in that person's shoes to see what might have gone wrong and how they can do better. So,
Exactly. A
thanks
lot
for
of us
that.
are, that's another way to frame exactly what I was just sharing is
Hmm.
you're stepping outside of yourself and you're observing yourself.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I,
exactly.
I, I love that. Thank you, Michelle. And I want to jump straight into the practical side of things because I'm known to be a very practical person.
Hmm.
Technically, a few of my clients who call me the get shit done coach, one would
Hmm.
have an idea that I hold a whip and I keep cracking it. No, I don't. But I do call upon people with tough love. And if things are not being done, to address it at the right time in the right way.
Hmm.
But so many group coaching programs, they sound amazing on paper, but the results just fade. Like
Yeah.
once the program ends, people don't do the things, implement the things the way they wanted to. So, but I want to create something very different. I want my programs to be impactful. And I'm
Mhm.
fascinated by frameworks that build structure and still leave room for human behavior because people don't always do what they say they will, right?
Right.
So, because you have like amazing business programs, coaching programs, that actually get the results, which is
Mhm.
what it's all about. I want to create or design group coaching programs that are like yours, one where people not only learn, they also implement and the habits stick with them for life. How
Mhm.
can I do that, Michelle? Teach me that.
Love that. Love that question. This is my passion. I not only love helping people learn more about themselves, but I love designing group coaching program experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so what I've found, I've been in the coaching industry for 25 years, and
Wow.
in my earlier days, I was would call myself more a business coach. So I was helping
Mm,
people with their branding, their messaging, their marketing, their launches, their offers, their pricing, all of
mm,
that. Um, about 10 years ago, 8 to 10 years ago, I was seeing in the market, there's a lot of people, a lot of coaches and consultants and creators that will launch a group program, launch a course, and people will buy into the program, and yet not everybody even sticks with the program.
mm,
So it's not even just about implementing after it's over. It's about actually helping clients get through the program itself, right?
mm,
Before they start to fall off the wagon. I have a little issue with that phrase, but that's the phrase everyone knows. So that's why I'm
mm,
using my air quotes.
mm,
But so I learned how to design a coaching program where people are checking in every single day. That's the difference.
mm,
It's the daily action and the daily accountability. So my
mm,
framework, my Power 15 methodology is that people commit 15 or more minutes a day to a
mm,
primary goal, task, or project
mm,
that they want the accountability around.
mm,
But then they also are taking 15 minutes in their day to check
mm,
into our group portal
mm,
where they're checking in what they got done. They
mm,
are giving and receiving peer coaching with
mm,
others.
mm,
They're getting coaching from a dedicated accountability coach.
mm,
And they are able to celebrate. They have that community, that connection. So that 15 minutes a day that they're doing that check-in process, that is keeping them engaged. So
mm,
I'm talking to those in the audience listening who do design group programs. It's about engagement.
mm.
We not only want the implementation to be a habit, we want the engagement in the
Correct.
program to
Yes.
be a habit.
Yes. Mm,
And both need to be tied together. So
mm,
when I run my programs, what I tell participants is you're going to do your 15 minutes or more. They can always do more, but 15
mm,
minutes. And then you're going to check in to our group. And
mm,
those two things go together.
mm,
And because we have people checking in every day and we have a system for it, and we know because I can see who is checking in and who isn't,
mm,
that if someone hasn't checked in for 2 to 3 days,
mm.
they are actually getting contacted by someone on my team to
Very
say,
good.
hey, we haven't seen you, we haven't heard from you, or are you having a challenge we can help you with? Because people not only need help maybe with whatever their goal, project, or task is that they're working on,
Mm,
they also are building the habits and the muscles of doing this check-in process. And so
mm,
it's natural that they might slip from time to time. They might forget they got busy. Stuff happens, life happens to
mm,
people. So we help them by making sure that they're scheduling time in their day for this. We help them eliminate other distractions that they have. And
mm,
because we can really dial in and see people's daily progress, and we never let them go too long before we're seeing,
mm,
hearing from them, uh, we have, 95% plus completion rate in our programs
mm,
where
mm.
people are checking in every day and
Wow.
they're building on that. Like, it becomes one of those things, when you haven't been to the gym in a while and at first you really don't want to go, but then you get to
Mhm.
the point where you don't want to miss it because it feels
Correct.
so
Yes.
good.
Hmm.
That's what happens with this.
The
Yeah.
the 15-minute thing is very good for that, especially when you brought in the gym example.
Yeah.
Every single time I walk into the gym, I'm like, I'm just gonna have a cup of coffee and sit here and read my book. But then, okay, I'll do like 5 minutes of the treadmill, and once I get into that rhythm, I keep going. Sometimes I've surpassed a whole hour, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't want to stop. It feels so good, and there's a
Exactly.
sense of achievement, right? Oh, I did 25 minutes. I did 35 minutes, and then before you know, everything gets implemented.
Right. That's part of my methodology is I teach people how to make the most of that 15 minutes, how to
Hmm.
get themselves moving when they don't feel like it. And I draw on other experts that are out there. So I'm often quoting James Clear's Atomic Habits,
Atomic Habits.
Mel Robbins' 5 second rule. So
Mm.
a lot of what I've pulled into the Power 15 methodology are the
Hmm.
best practices from other leading experts in the field of performance and productivity. Plus,
Mm.
in the last year, I've done a lot more research into how trauma
Mm.
impacts us, how trauma
Yes.
leads to
Hmm.
procrastination. So it
Mm.
really just isn't about performance. It actually is, there's an emotional element, there is a psychological element too. And as a coach and as a program creator, I'm very tuned into, what are those things that can cause clients or participants in these
Blockages.
to to fall
Hmm.
off the wagon again. Uh,
Hmm.
If you want, I can go into why I don't quite like that phrase, but again, that's the phrase I'm using for now. I like to look
What
at
do
what
you call
we
it?
do as I think of a bowling alley
Hmm.
where when you go bowling with kids, they have the rails on either side so the ball doesn't go into the gutter.
Hmm.
I kind of liken what I do with loving accountability and the program to be like we're putting those guardrails up so you don't fall in the gutter.
Nice.
There's
That's
plenty of
beautiful.
room on the bowling lane for the ball to zigzag, but it's still
Zigzag and still
moving
hit
forward.
something. Hmm.
It's still moving forward, even if it's going slow, even if it's zigzagging. We've all seen kids bowl where it takes 10 minutes for the ball to actually get to the other end, and it just lightly taps the
Hmm.
pin and
The
then they all
pins.
fall down.
I love that analogy.
That's what we're doing. Yeah, so we don't let people fall in the gutter, but we guide them, but we still have enough spaciousness where they can have good days and bad days. They can be more
Hmm.
productive and less productive. They can show up or they can miss a day and it's not the end of the world.
Hmm.
We keep going and they're going to reach their
Hmm.
destination when they do that.
Hmm. Like today the guardrails were up, but today the cutter was open. My ball just missed it. It happens to have
There's
bad
always
days
that little
sometimes.
space right at the end where the rail stops before the
Hmm.
pins, where the ball can
Yeah.
sneak around and not hit
Yep.
anything.
Hmm. This
But
is
more than
incredible.
likely, you're going to
Yes.
hit something.
You're amazing. And you have already given me a lot of pointers to change a few things the way I do them. Accountability part, especially the check-ins, everyday check-ins, like don't let people miss more than two
Yeah,
days. I think that's something seriously I'm going to implement because when people are in my programs, I want them to succeed. I want the program to work for them. And if people don't take action and I don't follow up with them, I feel like I'm consistently losing.
right, right. Yeah, I mean, it is hard as a coach when you're not seeing your participants doing what you want them to do to
Hmm.
feel like you want it to be better, you want more for
Hmm.
people. So
Hmm.
this methodology really helps in order to do that in a way that's effective for you as a
Hmm.
group leader. The software that I use and the way that I use it is an essential component because you can't do it in a Facebook group. You can't do it on certain other software platforms. You need a level of visibility into
Hmm.
your actions of your people. Um,
Hmm.
it also starts with your culture of your brand.
Hmm. Hmm.
It also comes down to how you're talking about how you help people.
Hmm.
But when people join a program, I have them sign an accountability contract with me. I
Very
have
good.
expectations of their participation. And the one thing that I do say to people, and it's not from a place of punishment, it's a place of preserving the energy and integrity of a group,
Hmm.
is every once in a while, there can be a person where this format is not their ideal format, or
Hmm.
they're not oriented for group work.
For the other person. Yeah.
They prefer individual work.
Hmm.
Or something so major in their life happens. I had a client whose husband passed away. I mean, of course, we're going to be understanding of that. We're going to work with that person a little differently when something like that happens.
Hmm.
But one of my mottos in my groups is you have to play to stay.
Yes.
And if people aren't showing up, if they aren't doing what we're asking of them, then I can't keep them in a group because the whole group will start to break down as a result. So that is the one line I draw on,
Hmm.
if you're going to be here, you have to be here. But that's why we have the participation rate the way we have it, because
Hmm.
we have an expectation, and it's not coming from a let me crack the whip on you place, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
It's coming from the place of you are here because you said you want to achieve this goal, or you want
Correct.
to be the person who achieves goals like that.
Hmm.
And I see you as that person.
Hmm.
I'm holding the vision for you to be that person. And it
Hmm.
is you. It's a facet of you that you're working to reveal and uncover.
Hmm.
So I'm creating a sacred space for you to step into and show up so that you can realize that potential in yourself.
Hmm.
And I'm honoring you by holding you to that level of participation with us, because I know that you are that person. And I'm not going to see you any different than that person that you want to
Hmm.
be.
Hmm.
So it's more about coming from a place of lifting people up
Hmm.
and helping them step into that potential that they know is inside of them, and loving them through that process,
Hmm.
as opposed to just, slamming a door like, you didn't come for 2 days, you're out.
Hmm.
See, that's a Jillian Michaels move. Jillian Michaels
I
would
would
say
say so.
that.
Yeah.
I hope she doesn't watch this podcast.
Well, we're not that famous yet. There's a yet part to it.
And I'm not blaming Jillian, but it's a good example.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even Jillian is probably not that person, except she was on TV. That was the role that she played, right?
Hmm.
But anyway, yeah, so that's the difference. That's another facet of loving accountability and designing these group programs, is we're creating the container and the space for people to fully step into the potential that they've said they've wanted for themselves, and we're not going to settle for anything less than that.
Hmm. You're fascinating, Michelle. And I've drawn a lot of inspiration and a lot of lessons from this. There are a few actionable points that I'm going to incorporate in my accountability pods as well. So this was amazing. This was wonderful. I love how you make consistency feel like not a forced thing, but more like a loving approach. You you guys, you need to hear about Michelle. You need to learn more about Michelle. The power of 15 methods. Oh, sorry. Let me do that again. You guys, you need to hear about Michelle, more from her. You need to learn about the Power 15 method. So connect with her directly. Michelle, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you first?
The best way is to go to my website. I abbreviate Power 15 to PWR15.com. And I have some free downloads and workshops for people on two topics. One is for people who are group leaders, course creators, and people who might be more interested in the design of group programs like this with the daily accountability, and how
Mm-hmm.
that model might really work for their business and for what they do. So I teach, it's a train the trainer type of workshop where I go into the nuts and bolts of this is what it is and why we do what we do. And
Mm-hmm.
then I have workshops for people who are really just struggling on being focused and implementing and procrastination, and they need that help for themselves. So they can come and be part of a workshop where we'll help them laser in on their top goals and give them some real nuggets on how they can start working on them, or improve from where they
Mm-hmm.
are.
Michelle, thanks for being such a big giver. Guys, all the resources that Michelle just talked about and her website and a link to her LinkedIn is down in the description below. So get a hold of Michelle as soon as you can. And of course,
Thanks.
don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next episode of Teach Me Something. Every conversation here is designed to help you build habits, build authority, momentum, everything that actually lasts for you. Parting words, Michelle?
I just want to say thanks again for having me be here. It was a lot of fun. And um, yeah, I think the big takeaway for people is that if you want to actually achieve your goals, you can do it in a really loving and supportive way of yourself.
Not by beating yourself up. That's amazing. I love that. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Until next time, see you guys.